I think one of the ways out of burnout and and recovering from burnout is being a kid again. And I know it sounds cliche because sometimes like when I say it, I feel corny saying it. But here's the thing. I was in burnout for like 4 years. I would say even during that process I was probably in recovery too. And it wasn't until I invested into like my hobbies and being creative again and coloring and becoming a gamer that I felt this new spark of creativity. For so long, I was just like infatuated with the idea of like just being the best professional that I possibly could be. And I really learned that just from my upbringing with my grandmother who raised me, that like education and your career is like the only thing that matters. And I'm 34 right now. Oof, almost forgot my age. I'm 34 now, but in between like 27 and like 30, I was like, wow, is like so much more than just your career. Like, life is also, being a pet parent like I am now, or it's walks outside, it's enjoying the sun. Imagine that. So I started to really engulf myself into all these like fun, cozy, kid like hobbies. And I have to tell you guys, like, I'm way less stressed. I don't get as overwhelmed with tasks that I have to do that are like very adulty. And I really attribute that to all the things that I've been learning, both directly and passively, about being a kid again. One of the passive things that I've learned is like this idea of being present. With being present, I'm I'm just so much more aware of my surroundings and like my personal boundaries overall. So I'm not as like I was when I was in burnout. I was very nervous about my surroundings. I was very like I was on edge a lot. I was fatigued a lot. But when I started to have that awareness of being more focused and centered because of the cozy kid like hobbies that I was doing, I started to realize like, wow, like me worrying about the past and what could potentially happen in the future is what's stressing me out about work and my life and where my life is going. But if I just stay present like I am with my hobbies, like kids are, huh, I'm not as stressed. And so it just became this idea. And now I'm really curious. Like, I'm curious to the point where I think maybe finding someone who studies or who works with kids, I'm wondering if they have more insight on this because as I research this idea from different psychologists, there are different nuances about coming out of burnout that attribute to kids and the characteristics of children as a whole. So we shall develop this topic more. I've got a lot more to research and to study here, but I want to know what you guys think. Um, is this something that you guys have dealt with? What's been your experience with burnout? Like, I'm really curious about this hypothesis of coming out of burnout, recovering by being a kid. Like, I'm curious to hear what you guys think and what you've dealt with. Leave it in the comments below and let's talk about it. And in the meanwhile, I'm going to be in the back doing my journalist thing and finding some professionals who can speak more intelligently on this topic. Let's see what we can find. Let's get curious. Let's get curious.